All right.
The great gathering for the analyst or for analysts like that.
I would say that is not. That's a very Englishy way of saying it. So if you were to just say
wouldn't
Pojwitvad, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, if you say something like Pojwitvad prep up, literally translated, what you're saying is for the analysts meeting, right? No, vad does not require a verb. Mech is.
Well, I know it doesn't attach to the verb, but would vad require a verb be in the phrase or sentence to make sense?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah. It's one of these things where, like, could you say it? You could say it. But it's very English, and people would probably understand you. It's just very Englishy. It's unnecessary. You don't need it. If it's a Pojwit Kep, then it's already a meeting for analysts. So you're right. There would need to be a verb for it to be really Klingon-y. Yeah. This week we are missing Rightlit. She's not here, so let's see. I think we have everybody. Yes, we're not that big of a group. Okay, cool. All right. Could everybody get into the spreadsheet that Dotval so generously provided? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I believe that Riley said that it was like corrupted or something, but I think it's a problem.
I believe I had to click a button to allow editing before I could use it.
Yeah. And personally, I could not see the Picard, but
it depends on what font you've got installed.
Yeah, I've got several, but I guess I didn't have that one, so I couldn't see it. But it's not a problem. Yeah, because I'm not.
It's one that uses
for y'all.
The cogwheel is mapped to a Z in that font, not to the apostrophe.
Yeah. That's it. That's the. I whenever I read it, I think Xenon hole or Zephon hole because that's what it looks like. But it's a font mapping, yeah, that is very common. Cool. All right. Let's talk about the worksheet for a second. Did everybody enjoy going through that? Did anybody have any questions regarding the worksheet or problems?
I did, but I left it at home. So now I can't ask them.
Okay.
I have to plead guilty. I didn't do my homework this week. This week was very crazy. I know. I did read through the dictionary, but
okay. All right.
Yeah. There were a few I wanted to ask about if we had time.
Yeah, of course we have time. Yeah, for sure.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay. For the first one, I felt like I understood the concept, but figuring out like what was the most grammatically correct way of saying it was awkward. I didn't know if it would be better to say I'll change my luck or my luck is changing, or if I'm completely off track.
Whatever. No, that's it. I mean, it's I'm getting lucky would be the way that I would maybe translate it, but you could also say I'm becoming fortunate. My luck is changing. Yeah.
Okay. Let's add that to my notes. And then for something like ku, could that be translated potentially as sprint? Like really just going?
Yeah, I suppose it could. Yeah, that could be. Yeah. There are other ways that you could get the idea of sprint. but that is a way that you could communicate that. Yeah. One of the ways we're going to talk about today when we talk about adverbials. Cool. Does anybody? I'm sorry. I'm looking everywhere, but I'm looking for a pen. That's what I'm doing right now. Does anybody else have anything that they wanted to discuss before we jump into?
I have a question.
Yep.
So what is the correct translation for make her leave? Would be graag je met me?
So this is a command you're looking for, right? Like make her leave, right?
Yeah, make her leave. Exactly.
So you can add that graag. You can, and you could say graag je met moch, right? Mej, leave, moch, make, je, imperative. So graag je met moch, make him, her, something that's capable of speech, leave. But remember when we discussed pronouns, you're adding in that rach is going to it's going to add some sort of emphasis, or it's there for clarification, right? So you don't need to say rach, right? You can just say yemejmoch.
Mm-hmm.
Putting in a rach when it's not really necessary can come off as sort of clunky. Rach yemejmoch. It's okay, but yemejmoch. It's nice and clean, tight, right?
If
Okay,
we didn't have that at the beginning, could yemejmo also be interpreted as just saying leave? Or no?
Well, it would be make something else leave or someone else leave, right? Because there's that moch on it.
Okay.
If you say just leave, then it would be yemej.
Okay.
Right? Because the subject of leave is the thing or person that's leaving, right?
Okay.
But with that moch, it becomes the object.
Okay. Excellent.
Lock? Something else? Go back. Maj. So let's see, I've got my Kindle right in front of me, and I am on chapter 4.4, adjectives. So, what's the very first line in this chapter, in this section?
Klingon doesn't have adjectives.
Right. Yes, absolutely. And that's totally correct. As we discussed, sort of, I can't remember if it was last time or the time before. Klingon does not have adjectives, but it has these things called stative verbs. And what Klingon's not the only language to have this. A bunch of natural languages have it too. And what it is it's basically to be insert adjective here, right? And this can be sort of, here, I'm gonna share my screen with y'all. Cool. And this can be, so let's take the example doi, which means what?
Tired.
Tired.
Whatever. And this can be just the main verb, right? So doi puk, which means what?
Child is tired.
Child is tired.
Right. But then these stative verbs can also function sort of in an adjective-y way when they come after the noun that they describe. So you could say doi puk, which means it's tired. And then you could also say puk doi, which means what?
Tired
Tired child.
Yeah, tired kid, tired child, whatever. And then you can do this on any sort of verb. You can even do it on any sort of noun, even one that has a plural suffix or any other number of suffixes. So duj atmena tin, right? Which would mean what?
Definitely very important big ships.
Yeah, the big major, what are most certainly ships. Or how about the big, what are most certainly mega ships, right? Or something like that, right? Got me thinking of the Spaceballs ship now. At the very beginning. So yeah, the other thing is that these, so in English we can say something like the big brown lazy fox, right? But in Klingon you can't really stack stative verbs onto a noun like this. You have kind of a limit of one. So the word in Klingon for fox, or it's a fox-like animal, whatever. Teshchosh, this is fox. The best that you can do is add one of these things following the teshchosh. So I'm going to decide to say teshchosh bud, right? The lazy fox. There's a way that you can add more, and they're going to be at the beginning of the noun. So you could say that tinbor keshchosh bud, right? So it's using this suffix bor, which we didn't discuss in our last lesson when we talked about verb suffixes, but
that is.
Yeah, it's kind of like which. Yeah, it's kind of like which, that. So tinbor is the lazy fox that is big, right? But don't trouble yourself with that right away, because you're gonna get your mind all cluttered with bor phrases. Just try to stick to this one noun, one stative verb rule for the moment, and then get used to it. And then as you learn bor more, and we'll go back and sort of look at it a bit more, along with all those other syntactic markers. As you get used to that, then you can start adding the tinbor and whatever else bor, the dokbor, if you want to talk about brown. Okay. That makes sense to everybody? Yeah. Okay. The other thing about this is, so as we talked about, verbs have these suffixes like laut, which is a type 6 suffix, which talks about it qualifies the verb, right? It's the equivalent of che, right? Che is the nominal suffix, which means apparent, and laut is like seems to, right? Seems to. So you could say something like ram laut, right? What does ram mean?
Night.
Night.
Well, when it's a verb, right? Because we have laut. Yeah, unimportant, trivial, etc. Right? Remember, when you're looking at words in Klingon, really look at the grammar around it. If there's this suffix here, then it means it's a verb. And sometimes this isn't going to be so bad of an error. Like, you're still going to be in the ballpark of what it means. So you got these two words, right? Josh and Josh. These are two. It's kind of it's the same word, but it's one is a noun and one's a verb, right? So one means to gossip, and the other one is gossip, right? So that's okay. But then you have this one, ram, which means be trivial, unimportant as a verb, but as a noun it means night, as you rightly pointed out. So look for grammatical clues that are going to tell you, oh, is this a verb? Is this a noun? And then that'll help you with your comprehension, right? And sort of pay attention to where it is in the sentence as well. So ramlau would be seemingly, it is seemingly unimportant, right? So what's the word for fox again? Can anybody tell me? Anybody remember? Kashchosh. Kashchosh. That's like a fox or something. Fox-like animal, right? So if you wanted to say the unimportant fox, khebo, what would you call that?
Kashchosh ramlau.
Well, no, just the unimportant fox.
Oh, kashchosh ram.
Yeah, kashchosh ram, the unimportant fox, the trivial fox. Now, if I want to say seems to, the seemingly unimportant fox, you kind of have the right idea, but unfortunately, in Klingon, you have a limited number of things that you can put onto a verb that's, or onto a stative verb that's acting as an adjective when it's behind the noun. So these things are limited to
Ko.
Is one that you'll see that a lot. That is another one. Ha. These are what you see on stative verbs acting as adjectives behind a noun. So you could say ramku, right? Kashchosh ramku, the very unimportant fox. You could say kashchosh rambat, the not important fox. Doesn't translate very well. I could say kashchosh ramcha, whatever the heck that means, the unimportant fox, right? So these are all things that you could say. To say the seemingly unimportant fox requires kind of a reimagining of what the sentence is from, your Englishy brain, right? Because a lot of speaking Klingon well is to stop using your English brain, start using a Klingon brain. So in an English brain, you might use, you might just use you might say seemingly unimportant fox, but a Klingon might say just ramlau kashchosh, the fox is unimportant, and then whatever the seemingly unimportant fox is doing, right after that, ramlau kashchosh tosh. It is climbing the wall, right? Kloit is a wall, and tosh is to climb. There is a way, if you really want to do it, it again requires bor, right? So kloit, tosh, ramlaut bor, kashchosh, right? So the seemingly unimportant fox climbed, or will climb a or the wall, right? So again, we're using that bor. But for the moment, try not to. Just try to do sentences that are more simple, like this, right? Ramlaut kashchosh, and then whatever it is. One of the most important, I have translated a lot of stuff. And so I often come into situations where I have to translate a lot of subordinate clauses, because English loves them, French adores them. I swear it's going to be ages before I do another Jules Verne story, because they're everywhere. And the thing about it is, the best advice that I ever got for translating is just to break up a sentence. When in doubt, break up a sentence, right? It's okay if it's not just one sentence in Klingon. And I think that's pretty true for just speaking Klingon in general too. What you might say as one sentence in English or in Polish, or in Swedish, or in German, that might manifest itself in Klingon as 2 sentences, and that's okay. That's just a different way of expressing it, right? Yeah. Okay, before we move on from adjectives, and before I ask if everybody's okay, so the last thing about this is, so we have the noun phrase "veng tin," which translates as
big city.
Yeah, the big city. So "veng tin." Well, the question is, if I want to say from the big city, would it be "veng vok tin" or would it be "veng tin vo"? Right?
The laatste zin.
Tin vo.
Veng tin vo.
Yep, that's it. So this is a verb, right? Tin is a verb, but it's sort of, attached to the noun in a way. So because of this, in this instance, vo is going to come onto this verb, even though it's a noun suffix, right? Instead of it being veng vok tin, right? Because veng vok tin would mean it is big from the city, which doesn't make any sense. It makes about as much sense in Klingon as it does in English. Yeah, I'm sorry. There's a ran ik buj. The police car passing by. Okay. So, does anybody have any questions on that? Any confusion? Want to talk about this more? Make sense? Okay. Let's talk about pronouns again. We're just going to run through them. Yotar. How would I say they, them, beings not capable of speech?
I always get that one wrong. I always try to go with chach, and it's bich.
All right, I think there's like a big fire or something. There were like 10 I think there were fire trucks, not police.
Rioting.
Kultin.
Yeah. Mach kha, bich. Krebo. Can you tell me what you singular is and what
Shoch.
you plural is?
Shoch. Shoch tlich. Ja.
Yeah, shoch tlich. Mach. Caitlin, can you tell me what I, me, and we, us are in Klingon?
Jich.
Mm-hmm. And what's we, us?
Mach.
Mach. Klingon mach, right? Klingon jich. Human jich. All right. Tiago, can you tell me what they, them, beings capable of speech is? And can you then tell me what he, she, him, her is?
They is chach.
Maj?
He, she is haar.
Maj. Rotval, what is it?
Och.
Och. Maj. Cool. So in, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go crazy. Jamauchoch, right? Cool dude me. All right. So there are 2 in your readings. You might have seen that there are 2 pronouns that we have not discussed yet. And that's because they kind of confuse people, but I hope today that if you are confused by them, that you will not be confused by them. So basically what these are is they are used to render the sentences that they succeed, the objects of the phrases that they precede. They're kind of like the equivalent of that in English, right? So I know that you are old. Right? So does anybody want to give this a stab? Wal, do you want to give this a stab? Here, how about you? What are the elements?
If I know the words, I can get the grammar better out of it.
Okay. Here, I'm going to give you the words. Here, I'm going to give you the words. Shov is to know.
Okay.
Khan is
Khan. Right.
Old. So what would be I know?
So, well, I know would be Yeshov.
Yeshov is I know. Good. I know.
Right.
And you are old would be?
Well, I don't remember the prefix for you without an object.
Be.
It could be Bekan.
Bekan. Much. You are old. Right? Okay. So what's going to happen here is you're going to have Bekan, right? That's at the beginning of the phrase. There we go. That's going to be at the beginning of the phrase, right? Because remember, in Klingon, the word order is reversed. And then what is going to happen is this at is going to come along. What I want you to imagine is happening is this at is sort of absorbing the phrase that comes before it into its meaning and making this the object of what comes next. So et jishov, but this is an object, right? So j is not the right prefix. So what's the right prefix for he, she, I do something to he, she, it?
Z.
What's that?
Z.
Yeah, there you go. Bekan et vishov. You are old, that I know it. I know that you are old. Does that make sense?
Now, the constructions I'm used to have generally one noun relating to another noun, and the et then is used on the suffix. So it would be like vishov et, but that's a different et. That's the
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
That's the
I was
top
confusing. I was confusing the syntactic markers.
Right. So
yeah, because vishov is a verb.
Yeah. You can.
So it doesn't get the topic and focus marker. Instead, you're using a pronoun.
Right. So these are two different things. They're related for sure, but their functions are different. So et as a mojak, as a suffix, is topicalizing, right? And in very much the same way, it's topicalizing here as well, right? But it's doing so by sort of making reference to a whole phrase rather than to just a noun. Yeah. So that's what et is doing, right?
And you cannot leave that pronoun out and just say, you are boring, I know it. You have to have the et in there to say.
Right, so in English we can say, I know you're old, right? So that is implied. But in Klingon you can't say Bekan Vishov. You can't say that. You have to say Bekan et Vishov. I know it. You could say Bekan Vishov, you're old, I know, but that's a little bit disjointed. So it's better to say Bekan et Vishov. Now there's an exception to what I just said, right? Because languages love exceptions. So yeah, New York, Vijach. What's New York?
New York.
New York. New York. tlhIngan Vijach. All right. The is I do something to him, her, it, them, right? And jach, what is jach?
Go.
Yeah, go. So jach, the object of jach, to go, is the destination, right, of where you're going. New York, v'jach. I go to New York. Now, what would you say, Caitlin, could you tell me what you would say if you wanted to say, I want to go to New York? Do you know what the word for want is in Klingon?
Ne.
Nech. Yeah, nech. So how would you say, I want to go to New York?
New York. Vija e vine.
You would be so right if this weren't the exception, right?
Is
So
this the
okay, don't worry about it.
net?
So nope. This confuses so many people. But before I explain it, so I heard with your GH, I heard like an English G. So remember that GH is not a G, it's a sound. It's like
that sound is gonna kill me, man. That letter.
And the RGH consonant cluster is something. It even throws me for a loop, so don't worry about it though. New York, v'jach. So you'd be so right if this weren't the exception. So nech is this very special case. It is the only exception to this rule. So anything like whenever you have nech and the object is a sentence, right? That would normally have the et separating these two phrases. You just omit it. It never gets used. To say New York v'jach et v'nech is ungrammatical. You need to say New York v'jach v'nech, right? It's just like in English when you omit that I know you're old. Right? There's no that there, but it's implied. In Klingon, again, you can't do that unless you're using this one single verb, nech. New York v'jach v'nech.
What if the order is flipped? Like, what if I was trying to say, like, I know you want a rock?
So nar, right? Nar is rock. Nech, v'shov, right?
Okay. So flipping the order is not. It's only when want is for the subject rather than the object.
Right. That's totally right.
Okay.
You got it. Nar, nech, v'shov.
Why does he want a rock?
I don't ask questions, man. I just get the man a rock.
Maybe it's valuable. Arvam darov et v'shov. You recognize this rock that I know. Narvam dashuk danech. So this rock, you acquire it, you want it.
You want to acquire this rock.
Yeah, you want to acquire this rock. Okay. Does that make sense, everybody? Yeah? Okay. You don't have to be masters of et yet, but it's very useful as you begin to speak Klingon more. Net. This is the exact same thing as et, but it is a little bit special. It sort of is used. It's kind of like it makes whatever you're talking about the general or gnomic sort of thing, right? So one of the phrases when you go to will be that you'll hear a lot is net shov. So net means that, and shov. Does anybody remember what shov means?
To know.
No.
Yeah, that no. And net kind of makes reference. It sort of carries the subject in it as well. The subject is sort of like everybody, everything, a general subject. So to say net shov means it is known, right? Gashwit potshoch net shov, right? So you're saying speaker, skilled, so you are a skilled speaker, that no, right? But net also carries the subject, so it is, that is known. It is known. It is known that you're a skilled speaker. You could also say net pich, as expected. So you could say molor choch helish. What is this phrase?
Kalis kills Molor.
Yeah, Kalis kills Molor, net pich. It's expected that Kalis will kill Molor, right? So it just means, general subject. But this is different from the lut suffix that we discussed a little. We scraped the top of the lut discussion last week, which means indefinite subject. This is different, but you won't hear it as often, but you will hear it in things like net pich, it is expected, and net shov, it is known. You might hear it for other things as well, but try to conquer at, and then try your hand at net as soon as you get that down. Cool. Any questions on that? It's kind of complicated if you are just getting into Klingon now, but I think everybody has had some experience with Klingon before, yeah. Okay, cool. We'll move on to met then. What is met?
Number.
Yeah. Number or numbers. So, did everybody try learning or at least look at the numbers 1 through 10?
What chap wedge losh var jav shot chor kut what mach.
Machka. And if you know the numbers 1 through 10, then you can easily form the numbers 1 through 9. You can easily form 1 through 99 if you know these numbers. So y'all might know them, but I'm just going to go ahead and say them for everybody's sake. So wa, cha, wedge, losh, var, jav, yeah,
Sure.
shoch, for,
Goed.
watmach. So wat, cha, wedge, losh, var, jav, shoch, chor, goed, watmach. Thiago, you want to go ahead and say all of those for me?
Wa, cha, wedge, losh, var, jav, shuch, chor, hoot, watmach.
Nice. On your chor, make sure that that RGH consonant cluster, that is going to be really something that you're going to have to get used to, but try to bring out the R a little bit more. Go ahead and try to say it again.
Chor.
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 Maj. Cool. Caitlin? Yeruch.
Wa, cha, wedge, losh, var, jav, shoch, chorg, chut, watmach.
Say that hoot again for me. It's like hearing kind of like a grunting sound to like hoot, right? Like a football player. But Really make that U round, right? Hoot.
Hoot.
Maj.
Like a little owl.
Yeah.
Hoot, hoot.
Dotval, Yeruch.
Cha, wedge, lush, vag, chav, soch, shrug, hut, watmach.
And so your jav, I heard a ch instead of a j. I heard chav, which means an accomplishment or to accomplish, or an achievement or to achieve. Try that again.
Jav.
Jav.
Chav.
Yeah. Like Chiago, you can bring that R out more. Chor, right?
Trorg.
Chor.
Trorg. I can't say an R in English, much less in Klingon.
But and then the other thing is you're saying chorg. It's not a G. It's a purring sound.
Trorg.
Chorg.
Trorg.
I'm still hearing a g. There's no g.
Chorg.
It's not going to hit anything. You're purring, right? It's like you're gargling.
Okay. Chorg.
March, poop. It was perfect. And then, like Caitlin, you have this football player thing going on. You're saying hut, right? But it's a hoot.
Hoot.
And as Yotar points out, just like an owl. Yerur, be like an owl. March. Yotar, you want to go for him again, or are you good?
I'm good.
Mat. Cool. Come back to this section whenever you need to review the numbers. Later on, I'm going to teach you how to do Klingon math. Yay, Klingon math!
I'm surprised you didn't explain 10, and it looks like you're doing it now, maybe.
Yes.
Oh, because you're introducing 11 and 12. Okay.
I was gonna say next week we're not doing base 3. We're just talking about like addition and subtraction, right?
Well, I'm gonna say, we're gonna. What time is it now? We got time. We're doing Klingon math. We're doing it. We're doing the thing. Klingon hol mitched. Yeah. So 10, as you might have noticed, is watmach, and the word in Klingon for 1 is wat. So what's going on here? Mach is the suffix. It basically adds the notion of 10. When you say watmach, what you're really saying is 110. And then this goes true for every number. So the word for 2 in Klingon is cha. So Caitlin, what would 20 be?
Chamach.
I didn't hear the kahwit.
Oh, chama.
Chapmach, yeah. So literally you're saying 210, right? Chiago, can you tell me what 30 is?
Weichmach. Weichmach.
Is the whiteboard haunted?
Yeah, just my computer's having problems. Sorry about that, y'all. There we go. Weichmach. 310.
Now how do we say 31?
Yelosh. So this goes on forever, right? Until 100, right? So loshmach is 40, vavmach is 50, javmach is 60, shochmach is 70, chorchmach is 80, chukmach is 90. Okay. So if you know the numbers 1 through 10, then you can set 1 through 9, then you can go all the way up to 99. So as Yotar points out, well, what about the numbers between Chapmach and Chapmach? What about the numbers between Chapmach and Wedgemach? What about all the numbers between these machs? Just like in English, you're going to just add the other numbers onto it. So the word for 11 is wat mach wat, right? So in English, we have a completely separate word for this, but in Klingon, we have one word that resembles, so if we were to say 32, right? Well, in English, that's 32 in English, but in Klingon, it's wedge mach cha, right? So we have 32. So it sort of resembles that, but it's, even in the teens, it's that.
Yeah, 3 tens and a 2.
What 1 10 in it? Well, yeah, for the 32. So wat mach wat is 11. Wat mach cha is 12. Wat mach wedge 13. Wat mach losh 14. Wat mach vav 15. Wat mach jav 16. Wat mach shoch 17. Wat mach chor 18. Wat mach goed 19. Chap mach wat. Tach, tach, tach. This is a phrase that means etc. Tach, tach, tach. It goes on, goes on, goes on. Dokval, knowing what I just said, can you tell me how to say the number 98?
Hutma chorg.
Hutmach chorg. Hutmach chorg.
Hutmach chorg.
Chorg.
Or chorg.
There's no G, right? It's
Chorg.
Maj. Tiago, can you tell me what the number for 42 would be?
Loshmach cha.
Loshmach cha. Nice. If y'all want a nice pun, the word for coincidence in Klingon is losh cha. 42. I think it's a reference to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Okay, Maj cha. Yotar, can you tell me what the number for 65 is?
Shav mach vav.
Machvav. Maj. And then there are other number forming words that are kind of like mach as well, right? And so it becomes really easy actually to count fairly high in Klingon because we have such regular, it's because it's so regular, right? So mach, and then we have the word vat, which means 100, yes. From there, you go up. You got shad, shanid, which means 1,000. Net, 10,000. Right? So chop net would be 20,000, right?
Right back.
Bip means 100,000. Wait, which means million. Okay. And then we just got the word sharan, which means billion. All right, but we're not going to get into that. We're just going to talk about 1 through 99 right now. And vat will come up soon enough when we talk about time words.
So for 100 million, would
right now the thinking is that it would be wejvat ui. That's the thinking, and that's what I put. And when I had a translation project, and I asked Mark Okrand about it. There was a city that had 30 million people in it, and I asked, like neck, right, 10,000. Like neck, would there be a separate word for this? And his response was that 30 million, the way, or an acceptable way of saying it would be wejmach ui. Now maybe it'll come out that there's an alternative way of saying this, and that this is either slang or whatever. But this is a way that we know of that is for sure okay to say. Along those lines, we might say wejvat ui, but we're not sure yet. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's 3 times 10 times 1,000. 3 tens, 1,000.
Okay. What was the other part we're going to? Oh yeah, we're going to look at adverbials. So, does it? Oh, and before we did that, we're going to talk about mitched. So, as we talked about earlier, mit means number. Does anybody know what ched means?
Well, I have read all but one issues of Holkeg, which is a magazine about the studying of words. What's the word I want? Not academy. PUI.
Institute.
What's that?
Somebody said something, but I didn't hear it.
Institute.
Science.
Yes. So the thing that he's referencing here is Holkhed, which was it was a journal dedicated to discussing debates over certain elements of the Klingon language in an academic setting, or as close to academic as we can get. And so the word hol means language, and ched, these things together mean linguistics. So ched is science. So mitched would be
Mathematics.
Mathematics, yeah. And before we do that, I'm just going to say par. I already know it, but it means nothing or no one.
Zero.
When we're talking about numbers, it means
0.
0. Yeah. It's also the name of a Klingonist whose English name is Eric Andine. So if you say par vinech at a kata, then you might get the response, oh, he's over there.
Yeah, there was a Klingon ship in, I think, The Next Generation named the Par, and I thought it was strange that they would call it the Nothing. That was before I understood enough Klingon to know that one word can have many different meanings.
But Par is also a Klingon name that I think is written down in the dictionary. If it's not, then it should be. I think it's an awesome Klingon name. So we're going to need to know this word. Anybody tell me what bok means? It actually has 2 meanings because it's both a noun and a verb. Can anybody tell me what the noun definition of bok is?
Not yet in my vocabulary, sorry.
Maj. Dachjaj biroj. We're going to learn it today. Anybody tell me what it is? So as a noun, bok has actually 2 meanings. One is fusion. So you have this word, this canonical word or noun phrase. Chong bok tuidach. Chong, I can feel what it is, but I'm looking for a gloss. It's Chong is like what's the word in English? This happens to you when you get to the, well, it's generator. Is that what it would be translated? Impulse. That's
React.
what it, impulse.
Impulse power.
Fusion thrusters, right? So fusion, but it can also mean alliance, coalition, and so on, right? Right. So as a verb, this means to
Assist.
Nope.
To ally.
You're mixing up bok and bok, and while the
Yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry.
While they're similar in definition, they're not the right. Yotar got it right. So it's ally with form an alliance with, and in the context of mitched, in the context of math, it has the definition of add.
Addition? Or, yeah, okay.
The thing
And is there a noun form that would mean addition?
nope, it's just a verb.
Oh,
Yep. Get used to
okay.
it in Klingon. So, but in English we say, you know, you add X number to X number, so I add 7 and 5, right?
I'm wondering if this is going to turn out to be shoch var je vibok.
Nope.
Okay.
Because what I was about to say is, in English, I add 7 and 5. You know, I'm the subject, and I'm adding these two together, these two numbers together. I add numbers. But in Klingon, what's going to happen is the subject is going to be one number.
Okay.
And the object is going to be another number. Because remember, the meaning of bok is to ally with. So what you're really
so 7
saying,
allies with 5.
right, exactly. So the way you'd say that is you know, when you're adding, it doesn't really make a difference which one goes.
Right.
But let's just stick with the word order we started with. So the object is going to be var. You have the verb bok, and the subject is shoch. Does anybody know?
Now in English, we have 7 plus 5 equals 12. So how do we make this say that it equals 12?
This was my next question. Does anybody know what the word for equals in this context is?
Certainly not.
Okay, much. That's okay. That's what we're here for. So you're going to do in English when using Latin characters, the convention is to put a little semicolon there.
Would we use the word together?
But that's a good guess. What you're going to do is chen. What does chen mean again?
Former.
To build?
Yeah. Okay, so I was right. I was thinking form, and I just looked it up, and I'm pretty close.
To form, to build up. So var bok shoch, 7 allies with 5, chen watmach. Yeah. 7 allies, 5, 12 forms. That makes sense to everybody?
Yep.
Is the construction the same if you use chel as the verb?
No. So that would be an instance where you say
okay.
But this isn't exactly what I think you're meaning. So chel, this would be like you add it to something rather than add these two things together.
Okay.
But I would say maybe for when you're, so like for instance,
if you're going to add a member to your crew, you'll use chel.
Yeah, exactly. It's something like that. So Beckwidge Vard. So
another translation of chel might be include.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
Augment.
Yeah. So, you know, this goes on, this will happen again. So, wedge book chop chen vad. 2 plus
okay,
5,
but I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
The convention is to use the same comma, but if you are writing in Picard, so you don't have the same comma there, so what do you use?
Well, perhaps we won't talk about Picard today. There's lots of debates surrounding Picard. Everybody sort of has their own style. I don't know if I can use any of my Picard fonts here, but I'll try to draw.
I'm just asking because I know that I was not sure that the same comma was actually used in Klingon. That's why I asked.
Right.
And I know that Picard there's a lot of discussion that's clear, and also not everything is defined correctly or as a standard. But just to be sure, yeah.
So Picard doesn't have as much. The word for punctuation in Klingon is tlhIngan. But then there's a slang word, which is the raume, which means bugs. And that can also mean punctuation. And I think the thing that's revealing about that is in Klingon, you say that something is as insignificant as a bug. So Klingons really, talk about the insignificance of bugs. So this calling them raume sort of makes, it seem like Klingons don't really care that much about punctuation. So there are two canonical punctuation marks in Picard. There's also another one that I and some other people use, but it's not canonical per se. But, I don't care because I'm a deviant. So you have this one, which is a triangle, and it is sort of like a full stop. It means the phrase is completely stopped. And then you have this one, which is sort of like a partial stop. So let's say I'm writing out in Picard the phrase wedge bok cha chen var. 2 + 3 = 5. So this is not very beautiful right now, but please bear with me.
Okay.
This is really ugly. Yeah, bok. So wedge bok cha. And then chen var.
Is that one in the lower left corner a cat?
Which one? This one? Chen.
Yeah.
Bye. So there you go. That's what. So we have a partial stop here, and then we have a full stop at the end.
Mm-hmm. Okay, understand.
Because this is not simply just a rectu, right? A mathematical formula written down, right? As in English, where you might not need a period because it's just a formula, right? But in Klingon, it's very much a sentence, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No,
I don't know how to erase everything. There we go. Cool. Okay, let's talk about how to say, so if bulk is to add, as in two numbers add together, they ally with one another, right? Think of it more like that. Then what would be subtract?
Bokha.
Yeah, bokha. Now here it is actually going to subtract, aka unally from, right? Now here it is going to matter which one comes first, right? Var bokha cha jen wedge. Right? So 5 on allies, or 2 on allies with 5, 3 forms. Yeah.
All right. So if it were chop var, then do we have a negative wedge?
Wedge dope. -3. Dope means be negative in a mathematical sense. It also has another meaning, which is be opposite. Right? So you're literally saying -3 or opposite 3. Right? Okay, makes sense. Okay, now let's move into, and then we're going to talk real quick about this little buddy, and then we're going to this guy is going to be our segue into our next discussion. So ditch. Can anybody tell me what ditch does?
It makes ordinals.
Yes.
So that 2 becomes second, 3 becomes third.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So wak ditch means first. Chop ditch is second. Wedge ditch, losh ditch, var ditch, goed ditch, 99th, right? so on and so forth.
Yeah, in Duolingo, we get Vengwadich,
Yeah.
first city.
Vengwadich. And as you point out with that example, this, like verbs acting as adjectives, comes after the noun that it describes. So first city, but in Klingon, it's Vengwadich, city first. And, you know, Meb Chatdich, the second guest, so on and so forth. It's the same thing. Okay, then let's talk about lor. Lor means times. So what lor will be once, yeah. Chat lor, twice, wedge lor, thrice, so on and so forth. Maar goed lor, 99 times, right? So on and so forth. Okay. And the way you use this is you have a phrase like, I think did Kreb O get locked out of the room? Let's see. Yeah, I think Kreb O might have gotten kicked out of the room for whatever reason. Sorry about this, y'all. You try again. She was trying to re-enter. I didn't. I'm really sorry about that, y'all. I didn't notice that she had gone out. So the way you use this is you have wat lor, but then you have this. So let's say you have this this phrase that we already covered, New York, which means New York. Vijach, I go to New York. New York vijach. You could say wat lor, New York vijach. I went once to New York. You'd say losh lor, New York vijach.
So,
New York dajach, New York jach. So on and so forth. So
Watlo and Loshlo are functioning rather like adverbials here.
Yep. So this suffix lor takes a number, much like ditch, it transforms it into something else. So lor makes a number into an adverbial. Now, what the heck is an adverbial? Let's get into those. So if you look at section 5.4, there's a whole list of them. And what these are is, you know, much like adverbs, like we have in English, they're going to describe the way in which something is done. But whereas adverbs describe the way in which one verb is done, and adverbial is going to describe sort of like the whole of the sentence. I'm sure that somebody else could give a much more graceful and perhaps more accurate description of what an adverbial is rather than what I just said, but that's kind of like what we're talking about here. I remember we talked about in the last video how we're going to have, if we're talking about the sentence structure, we're going to have time, so we're going to have place, so location, and then we're going to have the action, right? Well, at this tier list, we're going to have the manner. So an adverbial is going to come before, excuse me, I misspoke. Time, then manner, then location, then action. So a timestamp, remember, that's how we say when something happened in Klingon. So dachjaj, for example, is today. Dachjaj. And then we're going to add an adverbial, which is going to tell us something about what is happening in, or how the action is happening. So let's say nom, which means quickly. Yok dak. So yok is field. So in the field, pet bat. Run woman. the woman ran quickly in the field today, right? But in Klingon, I'm sorry?
If she ran quickly in the field 2 times today, where does our
Dachjaj chatlor nom yochdak pet bat. You can sort of add these, you can sort of stack these up together. So nom, I don't know, note, I'm trying to think here. Wedge nom biket. You have not run quickly yet. So wedge means not yet. Right? And nom is quickly. So you have not run quickly yet. Wedge nom biket.
So when we're using things like 2 times, 3 times, is that considered to be time similar to, say, dachjaj, or
it's an adverbial.
manner, or
it's an adverbial. So this will
okay.
Dachjaj tatlor chaler. I've seen you twice today.
But how does that fit into your list of time and manner and place and stuff?
Chatlor is an adverbial, so it's a manner.
Manner, okay.
It's not. It's not a time. Think of it more as occasion. Yeah. Whereas time, we're talking more about a specific period.
So it would equate to nom, quickly. You do it quickly, and you do it 2 times. Those would be
Chatlor nom New York daleng. You traveled twice quickly to New York.
Could you reverse the 2? Nom chatlo?
Yeah. Nom chatlo. This might have an effect with some on how you're understood, depending on the combination. I'm struggling to think of an example of that, but it definitely could happen.
Okay, could you put the list up there with the time and manner and stuff again? I want to write it.
So timestamp. Is anybody confused when I use this term timestamp? Anybody? No?
That's today, yesterday.
Yeah, and
like that.
Right. So in English we have tenses, which help us place an action in time. But of course, as we've discussed, Klingon doesn't have tenses. And so the way we deal with this is it's either not important, or if it is important, then basically you're just adding when the thing happened at the beginning of the phrase. And it's a noun, so povjaj is a noun, right? But it's acting as a timestamp. It's telling me when something has happened. So povjaj, right? So I'm setting the time of when this thing is happening. Povjaj.
And that's where you would use something like 2 years ago, although I'm not sure about the construction.
But that is another example of a timestamp. Chapben. So ben is this noun that means 2 years ago, right? Or ben means years ago. Chapben means 2 years ago. This is a timestamp meaning 2 years ago. New York, Vilang. I traveled to New York 2 years ago. Yeah, you got timestamp, manner, location. This is where you would use vot or doc, right? And then you got the action. There you go. All right, so here we have timestamp, Ben, Box, New York, Vilang. 2 years ago, I traveled honorably to New York. Right? Okay.
So if you traveled you were escorted in handcuffs or something?
I suppose so, yeah. Or you were very naughty when you were on the road. I don't know.
Very sneaky.
Before we talk a little bit more, so there's this thing, right? It's this verb suffix, which means to undo, to misdo. So it can take a verb and not exactly make it the opposite of what it is, but it can perhaps add a connotation of doing the opposite or undoing something, or perhaps doing the opposite of something. So,
yeah, so it could be equivalent to dis or miss in English. So bakha would be dishonorably.
Or however, that's the thing about it, is like you just have to feel out what it means when, right? So kha could mean it was good and then now it's bad. It could mean it's missed bad, and so on and so forth. But here, probably, if somebody says something is kha, then there's probably a connotation. It was probably good at one point, but now it's not, and so forth, so on and so forth. Dishonor, to be dishonorable. So there are a couple of canonical adverbials, such as, so bach means to do something honorably, right? It's also a noun. Bach means honor, but in the in sort of an
societal
sense, it's like the concept of honor, whereas kuv is more personal honor that you gain, right? But as an adverbial, bach means to do. It means honorably, do something honorably. Bach yeroj, I learn honorably. And then you have the adverbial bachcha, which means dishonorably, right?
So if you learn dishonorably, you cheat.
At v'ir, I suppose so. Now here's the thing about this. This may suggest that you could put cha onto anything. I don't think it's true that you could put cha onto any adverbial. However, I think it is possible that cha can be put onto some of the adverbials, bach being one that we have canonical examples for, and pitcha as well. So there's pidge, which means often, and pitcha, which means not often, seldom.
There are some adverbials that are opposites, like nom, meaning quickly, and chit, meaning slowly. So you wouldn't bother with nom cha to mean slowly, right? Because you've already got chit.
Right. So, I actually have heard somebody use nom cha before, and my ears nearly bled. But but you're talking
that give it
that these are
could that give it some kind of gloss? Nom cha, would that mean maybe deliberately slowing it down or something?
I doubt it means anything. I doubt it's grammatical. Again, these are not confirmed, but I would doubt that these are grammatical.
What about like gach is now? Would gach cha mean anytime other than now?
That I'm really dubious about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So cha.
So don't try to use cha as a catch-all.
Right. And there are a couple of disputed adverbials. So we have this adverbial wedge, which means not yet. So you could say wedge veraj. I don't have it yet, right? So this is an example. Don't say wedge veraj bet, because that would mean the opposite of what you're meaning. If your meaning is I don't have it yet, you would need to say, because this would mean I don't not have it yet. Right? This is a double negative. Wedge veraj, I don't have it yet. Now this could also mean I have three. So
you could say veraj bet to mean I don't have it, but that doesn't carry the expectation that you will have it at some point.
Exactly. And there's this disputed adverbial. Personally, I use and many others use, so it makes use of this cha, but it's controversial. So wedge is not yet, so cha would potentially mean already. So wedge cha veraj, I have it already. Again, this is not confirmed. It may come out later that this is not grammatical. However, this is used. So if you come across wedge cha, then just know that it means it probably is meant to mean already. Wedge cha veraj. There's also another one, tloi, which will not be in your dictionaries because it's kind of a newer one. Or perhaps it is in the dictionary. I forget what's in the dictionary and what's not. So tlhoi is too much. Tlhoi jishop. I eat in excess. I eat too much. And there's also a controversial tlhoi cha. I eat too little. Right? I don't eat enough. Tlhoi cha jishop. There are canonical ways of getting around not using tlhoi cha, but just know that if you come across tlhoi cha, it probably is meant to mean too little.
I've seen pevil cha,
yeah,
which is forcefully with the undo to mean gently.
Yes, pevil cha is canonical.
And niteb. And niteb ha.
Again,
for alone and together.
Right. Yeah. So
together.
Alone.
Yes.
Together. Yeah.
Since ha and ku are both rovers, could you put them both on?
Nope.
Okay.
Does not go. So this is the other thing. Just because cha can go onto some adverbials does not mean you can put bet and ku onto adverbials. These do not go onto adverbials ever. No. Cha is this really special thing that, for whatever reason, goes onto some adverbials. My suggestion is that you all just learn the list, and then sort of broaden your horizons as you sort of read more in Klingon, sort of feel out what people are using. So which cha, tlhoi cha. Even if you don't use them, recognize that they're used by some within the community to say this thing or that thing.